Let's get to the daily page. This is a unique and very effective way to plan the day. In fact, here you schedule the time and prioritize the tasks you've planned on the weekly page. Set the date. In general, you can prescribe the dates in advance when planning a week. At the beginning of each day, we suggest you to write the affirmation, your goal for this day that will motivate you and inspire you every time you open the planner. For example, my today's affirmation is, I am focused and productive today. This block is a reminder what areas of your life you need to pay attention to when setting daily goals. As we already know, there must be a balance in everything. But first, get back to the balance wheel. Check which areas you need to work on and include one of these areas in the daily plan in addition to the main tasks or as one of your priority tasks. Well, here we come to the most important and somehow incomprehensible block for many of you. This block is your working day or time that you want to dedicate to your tasks. For example, you have 8 hours and a certain amount of tasks from your weekly page. Choose the tasks you want to work on this day. Starting from the top priority task, decide how much time you will need to complete it. And just like that, one by one, keep on adding the tasks according to their priority. It can happen that on this day you will be able to complete only 3 or even 1 task, as they will need all of your time. But don't worry, you will get to the rest of the tasks another day. Goal set? Perfect. So now you should decide which time management method you want to use. We prefer the Pomodoro technique. In this technique, you set the timer for 25 minutes and work on one task until the timer rings. Mark off 1 Pomodoro and take a 5-minute break. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break, 15 to 20 minutes. You may choose another method and set the longer working cycle, all depending on your ability to focus on a single task for a longer time. But then remember to take a break each 1.5 hours. But we will pay more attention to it a bit later. So let's say you've decided to use Pomodoro technique. Here we set 25 minutes working session. It will be the big circle, and 5 minutes break. It will be the small circle. Now, let's get back to our tasks and set the amount of work sessions for each task, knowing that we have 8 hours in total. For example, to complete this task, I will need 2.5 hours. As I've decided that the working session is 25 minutes, 1 big circle, and I want to work 2.5 hours, it equals 5 working sessions, 5 big circles. So here I put 5. I want to dedicate 1.5 hours to this task. That means 3 working sessions of 25 minutes each, or 3 big circles. To complete this task, I will need 2.5 hours, which means 5 circles. And that is how we schedule the rest of the tasks. But keep in mind how much time you have in general, not to plan the tasks for 12 hours when in reality you have only 8. And always leave a margin of time at least 1 hour. In other words, using Pomodoro technique, each big circle is 1 Pomodoro. Each Pomodoro is 25 minutes. Let's say we have 8 hours for work, which means 16 Pomodoros. Starting from priority task, we dedicate a certain amount of Pomodoros to each task. 5 Pomodoros to this task, 3 Pomodoros to this, and so on. Keep 2-3 Pomodoros in reserve for emergency. Done. Now let's get to work. Starting with the first or top priority task. Set the timer. In my case, it's 25 minutes. Or use the app. Personally, I prefer Forest app and focus on one single task for 25 minutes straight. I suggest turning off all the unnecessary tabs and applications to eliminate the distraction. When the timer rings, I mark off one circle and take a break for 5 minutes. If you work on the computer, I suggest you get away from it for 5 minutes. Take a short walk, do some squats, or sit with closed eyes. And now back to work. Mark off a small circle, it's our break, and turn on the timer for another 25 minutes. Work on the task until it's done. When the task is complete, tick it as done. After 4-5 Pomodoros, take a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. In the same way, we work on the rest of the tasks. If you have the task that requires more time, we suggest dividing this task into smaller steps and work on these steps one by one the same way. And here we have some advices for you. If in the middle of your working session you have remembered something important or you received an email that you need to answer, don't get distracted from work. Write a small reminder in your planner and get back to it as soon as the timer rings, and your working session will be over. If you have tasks that take less than 1 Pomodoro, try to group them. That will save you time. Try to plan your big tasks in categories. For example, if you have things to do in different parts of the city, choose one day of the week when you will be able to complete as many tasks as possible. What concerns smaller tasks, try to alternate tasks of different types. It's a well-known fact that our brain can't concentrate well on one type of activity for a long time. Maybe at first, this method seems a bit complicated or incomprehensible, but try at least for a week and you will notice the positive results. First of all, you will start getting rid of procrastination. Second, you will learn to concentrate on your goals and stop getting easily distracted. And as the result, you will start completing the tasks faster and better. And in general, it will be easier to get to work. We kind of trick in our mind. Oh, it's just 25 minutes of work and then I will be able to rest. Another good thing is that the feeling of anxiety and dissatisfaction will pass, as you will have everything under control. Plus, you will improve your time management skills and self-discipline that will help you in many spheres of your life. And don't forget to tick off the complete tasks. This small action makes your results visual and motivates you to keep on working. Remember that the daily plan should be your help and support, not a strict frame. Another small advice: important tasks should be scheduled in the first half of the day, and even better, right after the morning routine. At this time, the ability of the brain to concentrate is much higher, as the level of melanin is low and the level of cortisol is high. Let's move on. Here we simply schedule our meetings or any to-dos. For example, make a call at 12 p.m. or online webinar at 9 a.m. Use the notes block however you prefer. It can be a reminder to buy a present, or reply to email, or a checklist of your morning rituals. I like to write down here my daily reflection, everything that I have achieved during the day, my small and big wins. Moving on to the end of the day, a place to say thank you. It can be a really tiny thing. A smile that someone gave you on the street, or smell of fresh cut grass, or a first butterfly in the season, or just thank this day if you can't find any other reason. Here, you evaluate yourself. There are no criteria, just how you feel. Thanks to this practice, you will learn to focus on the good and notice the beauty and positive side in everything. We are creators, and our universe is abundant, and only we decide to take something good from it or bad. And also, track changes in states and moods. Don't miss them, they are just as important. That's it. The weekend page is more loose. Here you can write down small everyday tasks, or even better, ideas for relaxation and distress. You can write down different propositions right at the beginning of the week and make a choice closer to the end. Do not underestimate the value of leisure time planning. This is also very important, as you replenish and reboot your energy during the recreation. Otherwise, the productivity level will go down. And spending the weekend in front of TV or scrolling your Instagram newsfeed is not always a good idea for rest. Try to plan something that will inspire you and give you positive emotions. The page, placed for everything, can be used however you like. Draw mind maps, make notes, write down your brilliant ideas, anything you wish. But I would love to suggest you something cooler and very useful. Use this page for your weekly reflection. Write down everything you have achieved this week and what you are thankful for. Look, our brain is designed in such a way that it needs to understand and notice the progress. If it works hard and doesn't see progress, it starts protesting, stops generating new ideas, and looks for different excuses not to continue working. But as soon as you mention progress, even the tiny one, praise yourself, the brain will get the dopamine booster and start working even harder on new tasks and goals. Notice small but real achievements. Here is a beautiful phrase for motivation. Human felicity is produced not as much by great pieces of good fortune that seldom happen, as by little advantages that occur every day. Gratitude, as we said earlier, will help you focus on the good and look through the positivity prism. What we focus on is what we get. You can turn it into a pleasant ritual at the end of the week. Create a pleasant atmosphere for yourself. Make a meditation practice or 3-5 deep breaths and get to your reflections and gratitude. Good luck, my dear friend. If you still have some questions or suggestions to change something, please leave them in the comments. We are always happy to know what you think.